We've generated over 8 figures in qualified pipeline using strategic outbound for our clients. We've booked meetings with some of the biggest companies in the world. But here's the statistic we don't talk about enough. We turn away over 60% of the companies that ask us for help. We tell them no. We tell them that for their business and their current stage, outbound would be a massive failed investment. The hard truth is that most companies just aren't ready for outbound sales. They think it's a magic button for instant leads. It's not. Outbound simply makes your current approach louder. If you have a clear message that solves a real problem, outbound will share it with everyone. But if your message is confusing, you're just spending a lot of money to confuse more people, and you'll burn your money, your team, and your brand along the way. In this video, I'm breaking down the 4 things you absolutely must have in place before you spend a single dollar on outbound. Getting these right is the difference between building a sales pipeline that is predictable and scalable and making a very expensive mistake. So, if you're thinking about outbound, or if you're already doing it and it's not working, you need to watch this. Before we get to the list, you have to understand the main thing that separates successful outbound from campaigns that fail. It's the difference between just doing outbound and achieving what is known as message market fit. Doing outbound is what majority of companies do. They buy a list of contacts, hire a sales rep, and start sending out generic messages. They tell themselves it's a numbers game, and then they get no replies. The few meetings they do book are with people who aren't a good fit. They blame the process, but the real problem is their entire approach. Your message, whether it be email, LinkedIn, whichever other means you use, is an interruption to someone's day. People you reach out to are not actively looking for your solution. You can't just interrupt someone and immediately ask for a sale. This is where message market fit changes everything. It's about having a message so clear and relevant that the person you contact thinks, finally, someone understands my problem, or it seems like they understand it and I'm curious to find out more. Getting this right isn't just about having a good product. It's about communicating its value so clearly that it makes people realize they have a problem that you can solve. Outbound is the ultimate test of your message. If your message is weak, outbound will just prove it, loudly and expensively. If you have confusion, that gets bigger, and that's why so many campaigns fail. So, let's talk about the work you need to do first. Here are the 4 must-haves. All right, the first thing you need, and it's the most important, is proven product market fit. This is the foundation for all growth. So what does proven actually mean? It's not just a few happy customers. It's not having a product that you think is cool. Proven product market fit is when the market is actively pulling the product from you. It's when customers are coming to you because they know you solve their problem. They are getting real results and would be truly disappointed if they couldn't use your product anymore. Your sales conversations are easier because the value is obvious. Outbound cannot create product market fit for you. It's a tool for scaling after you have it. You find product market fit by working on your product and message until customers start coming to you. Only then should you think about taking that message to a wider audience. The second on the list is simple math. For an outbound sales program to make sense financially, I would recommend that your average contract value should be at least $10,000. Honestly, the higher the better. Now here's why. The total cost of one sales development rep in the US, including the salary, software, expenses, benefits, etc., can easily be over $100,000 a year. Now, let's say your average deal size is $3,000. Even if your team is great and you close 2 deals a month, you're only bringing in, say, $72,000 a year from that $100,000 investment. It just feels like you're working hard just to lose money. But if your deal size, let's say, is worth $10,000, the math changes. Those same 2 deals a month are now bringing $240,000 in new revenue. The $100,000 investment is giving you a positive return. At $25,000 or even $50,000 per deal, you have a truly scalable and profitable growth engine. So before you start, make sure the deals are valuable enough to justify the cost. And even if the ACV, average contract value, is on the lower side, if you can make it up in the lifetime value, the LTV, then outbound can still work. But just make sure that the offer or product you're serving is not too low priced to ensure that you can actually make a real positive ROI with strategic outbound. Number 3 on the list is the one that gets ignored the most. Booking a meeting with a potential customer is not the whole victory. It's just the beginning. You absolutely must have a clear process to handle and close the opportunities that outbound generates. I've seen this happen so many times. A company gets the first 2 things right, they have a great product, and a good deal size, we start to fill the calendars with qualified meetings, and then nothing happens. The new leads get forgotten in the system, follow-ups is slow, and deals stall and die. And this is why at Asterisk Partners, we not only support a strategic outreach, we provide with sales training and sales enablement to ensure our partners are successful as possible. Success in outbound doesn't end with a book meeting, it starts there. You need a repeatable sales process ready to go. This means having sales reps who are trained to understand their customers' problems and show how you can solve them. It means your sales and marketing teams work together so reps have the case studies and information they need. If your sales process is chaotic, you're just bringing in leads that you can't handle. Generating leads you can't close is a waste of money. It hurts team morale and it damages your brand's reputation. Fix your sales process before you turn on the fire hose of outbound leads. The final item on the list isn't about your product or your team. It's actually more important than that. It's your mindset. You must have the patience for testing because outbound sales takes time to work. If you're expecting results tomorrow, or even worse, yesterday, you are going to fail. Outbound is a process of discovery. It can take 3 to 6 months just to get a predictable flow of leads, and sometimes even longer to see consistent revenue from those efforts. You have to test everything. Who you're targeting, the problems you're highlighting, the value propositions, the length of the message, the approach, the angle. There's so much. You might test 2 different subject lines, for example, to see which gets more replies, or 2 different call to actions to see which books more meetings. And this is what is known, and you'll be maybe familiar with, of A/B testing. And it's how you find what really works for your specific audience instead of just guessing. This requires patience. You need to be prepared to wait for the data to tell you what's working and what isn't. Outbound is not a quick fix. It's a long-term strategy. If you don't have the time to let this process unfold, I'm sorry, again, you are not ready for it. So let's bring it all together. Outbound is not a magic solution. It's not a magic pill. It's not a silver bullet, but it is a powerful tool. So as a reminder, here are the 4 must-have prerequisites when doing outbound. First, you want proven product market fit. The product must be pulling your product from you. Number 2, a $10,000 average deal size or lifetime value. The math has to work or you'll simply lose money. Number 3, the internal capacity to close. You need a solid sales process to turn meetings into customers. And number 4, the patience to test and wait. You must be willing to test your approach and give the process time to work. If you're missing even one of these, outbound will likely be a very expensive failed investment. Be honest with yourself. Focus on getting the fundamentals right first. Get your product, your pricing, and your internal process in order. When you do, outbound will be there, waiting as a powerful way to scale your growth. Now, if you have all 4 of these things in place and you're ready to build a real outbound growth engine, we should talk. There's a link in the description below where you can book a call with me for a free strategic conversation. If you're not there yet, subscribe to the channel. We're putting out content like this regularly to help you get the foundations right. So when the time comes, you will be ready. I'll see you in the next video.